I don't know. It is colder than a well digger's left epididymia outside. 19 degrees. But despite my fall from a couple of days ago, I figured it was time to get back outside. Uh, I'm gonna. I'll take out my other glove. I'll remember today. No trying to walk freestyle. Keep a cane. Keep a walker around you at all times. And be careful. So I don't do that again. But that was actually easier than the first time I did it, which is interesting because I walked the same distance. But yeah, scary. You need adrenaline. You need risk. You need danger. You need things like that to be healthy. It's not healthy for your body. The only reason I'm doing this in front of you, I already did this routine before, is to show you part of CRPS and why I am the way I am. Ooh. This is what I have to do to, it still doesn't feel good, but it's a little bit better, is I take a ace bandage like you have a swollen knee or something you want to protect. I wrap it around my middle real tight because a light touch is worse than having something squeeze you like an anaconda. So that's what I do. I'm gonna go ahead and get in bed and have a few more words to say. And okay, I did something already today. It's 5:39. I slept until 3:30, and good for me. Though I don't feel very good right now. Well, my heartbeat hasn't regulated quite yet. I put on a tuxedo shirt for you because it's always important to dress up for the public. But anyways, I get tired of playing that nipple peekaboo game, which, believe me, is completely unintentional. I can't put my face like right up to the camera. That's even more frightening. You know, I just don't think about that kind of stuff. As far as like, I don't view things. I'm weird. Let's put it that way. I don't view things like other people. I don't fixate on that kind of stuff. Of course, it's a completely different thing if it's a woman, but you know, that's, can't help that. I remember walking around the corner in the grocery store and getting hit in the face with cleavage. I mean, literally, like, boom, right there. And there's a dearth of good-looking women with ample cleavage in this neighborhood, and I'm not even a breast man, but it is kind of like I turned the corner in the grocery store and was already bending down to reach for something, and just boom. So, you know, I'm not immune to fixating on body parts and stuff, but yeah, I'm gonna start. I gotta find a different shirt, but I'm gonna start like being more give a fuckish to my general consumer, which is down to about 20 people now. So, you know, because they're like, oh, we get your deal, but really, there's quite a few more layers to this onion, unfortunately. But anyways, yesterday totally sucked balls. It was horrible. Um, I took a nap and I ate good, which isn't, you know, I'm doing better with the eating thing. But I took a nap. Like I said, I got up at 12:30 a.m. and then I napped till about 1 o'clock, like 9 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So I woke up at 3:30 instead of 12:30, which is an improvement. You know, I would like to get my schedule to where I'm going to sleep around 9 o'clock and waking up around 4. And then I can walk out of here, you know, and just get used to being outside with no people around, um, before I have to deal with other human beings. Because, I've lived unhealthy for a long time. That's why my head's all fucked up. That's why I'm like, no more just like, you know, what is that? It's fun for me, but it's not good for me. It's like drinking to excess. Uh, you know, I woke up with a little bit of a headache, but I didn't even wake up with a bad headache. But what I'm talking about is like I make an hour and a half video, say, and then while I'm uploading it, I watch it. That's 3 hours cut out of my day. I watch it to see uh, if I made sense, to see if I was any good or not, to see if I was interesting, entertaining, or boring, insipid, if I was able to string together sentences in a coherent, orderly fashion, etc., etc. But yeah, um, I don't have much to say except that yesterday I was in a lot of pain yesterday, so, and I had a lot of anxiety, and my stomach was awful, and yeah, so um, I felt like I said, I took my pulse even, and I was like, oh, I'm under 80. It's like it's better to be in pain than to be in fear. So I'm like, and I fell, of course, later in the day and was out of commission for Thursday. And then Friday, I just lifted weights and I had an appointment with the dude. Saturday was shit. Horrible day. Today is Sunday. And today's already better than yesterday because I walked as far as I walked the first time when I walked too far. And it's funny. I was thinking it's like I am the only. I know I'm not the only guy, but uh, walking across that flat ground, to me, it's like walking on a tightrope. It's like every step I have to be careful. And my cop friend who's been not all over the world, but who has traveled, like he's been in Russia, he's been in Mexico, he's been in Canada, he's been in Europe. He's like, your street is literally the worst paved street I've seen anywhere in the world. So it's like the surface of the moon out there, you know, for added difficulty. And as a matter of fact, my ex-friend with the Harley Davidson, he's like, I'd visit you, dude, but I'm not riding my bike on your road, you know. It's like, I guess, he still would come by, of course, when he needed money and stuff, but I guess he would take the alley that uh, goes straight to my road, or just, he'd make sure that he wouldn't be on my road. By the way, I shouldn't say this. Well, you can come and kill me and put me out of my misery if you want. Just don't, like, kidnap me and throw me in a well or put me in a cage and, like, feed me through the bars, or, like, try to wind me up like a organ grinder's monkey to entertain you with my verbal versera. I don't even. I just screwed up verbal virtuosity. Oh, that's irony. I mean, yeah. The name of my road is even. I lead an ironic, strange life, but the name of my road is even ironic. It's called Wellman. Wellman. I am like the most unwell man in the world, and I live on Wellman. So I walked a little bit on Wellman today. Then I walked up this alley all the way till the next street, and then I walked back. And that's how I started out my day. As far as, I could lift weights today. I just gotta play it by ear. I like lifting weights. Um, you know, I hope it's encouraging to people that I try, and maybe I should go into like the thing with the band around the stomach. It's like the things that I have to deal with. I already mentioned some of the more unpleasant aspects of my existence. You can dress it up any way you want to dress it up, but I can't really feel what's going on from here below. And if you're an intelligent person, you can figure out what that means. Um, but living, it's a whole nother matter. Uh, but nope, I'm still trying, and I'll be here, and I'll still be trying. I mean, I turned a bunch of flab into some pretty tight muscles, and I used the law of humility and the Jordan Peterson rule of setting a low bar, and just went through the motions with 5-pound dumbbells. Meanwhile, I was strong enough I could lift 100 pounds. I did it because I lifted up the back of a scooter and stuff. It's just a matter of getting used to the motions. You know, getting your body used to it. And so I started out with 5-pounders, and I moved up to 25-pounders. So I'm actually probably could bump that up if I wanted to, but I'm just going to stick at 25 for a while and maybe do double sets of everything. Um, I don't know how much you know about lifting weights or how much you care to know about lifting weights, but to build, I'm a skinny dude and I'm looking for strength and mass. So I follow a regimen of 8 to 12. You take as much weight as you can handle, then do 8 reps with it. And then you work your way up to 12. And then you add on little tiny weights. And then you drop it back down to 8. And you keep doing that until 12 is easy. And then you add on more. And to build mass, you need to lift heavier weights. To build strength, you need to lift heavier weights. You want to build, you want muscle tone, you want endurance, you want more of an aerobic effect, you lift lighter weights. But yeah, I know a lot about that, and plus I've spent a lot of time in therapy rooms talking to experts, and I'm going to avoid, I miss telling stories, but I'm going to avoid any storytelling and stuff because, I'm trying to be disciplined here. And we'll get back to the stories I have. You know, I've only been, not saying only, but it seemed like forever. I've only really been benzodependent for somewhere between 4 and 5 years, and it seemed like forever, and it's had very ruinous effects on me. So there was a large part of my life where my mind was clear, and it's just like um, memories pop up, um, just things I just don't think about. Uh, you know, I can tell you a quick one that I may have told you before. So I got too many stories I don't really remember, but so I'm in high school, and we have AV 300 at Perry High School, and it's the biggest room I've ever been in that wasn't catered to a sporting event, and it was the big study hall. All these kids come in before the bell even rang, and they came from gym class. And they had these things back in the day. I don't know if they still have them, but they're like a big net bag. And they got this kid was in the middle of a whole line of kids, and they were marching in a line. And he was talking boisterously like everybody else before the teacher yells at everybody and says quiet. And he had his net bag, and he swung it over his shoulder in a devil may care, rakish way. And there was a hole in the net, and he had a big, huge bottle of English leather cologne. Like, if it was rum and you drank it, you would die of alcohol poisoning. This aftershave bottle was so big. So it hits the floor and shatters. The next 3 guys, because they're all walking real fast because they're all teenagers, slip and fall in it. And I'm pretty sure that at least one of them kids had to go home. He didn't have clothes, so they just dismissed him for the day because he was drenched in English leather. There was just, and the whole study hall reeked of English leather cologne. And I was sitting like right there, man. I had like a front row seat for that shit. And I didn't want to laugh and draw attention to myself, so I might have done myself some internal damage that lasted to this day from going. You don't want to laugh at a bunch of high school boys when you're all crippled up, and you just and you know, I don't remember how anybody else acted. I think it was in the back of the study hall, so everybody was like just turn around like, what's that smell? What the hell just happened? Because it wasn't a big crash. It was just like a bottle breaking and then a bunch of kids slipping and falling and then slipping again trying to get up in this pool of English leather. They were suddenly caught in English leather quicksand. So anyway, there's a story for you. And I'll see you tomorrow. And yeah. But I figure enough for the nipple peekaboo show. That's just ridiculous for me trying to worry about that stuff. And yeah, anything that detracts from my uh, expertly um, executed eloquence is not a good thing. No matter, so yeah, no more of that. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna have to find. I may be wearing this tomorrow, but I have one T-shirt that's not bagged up from the bed bug crisis. So uh, my apologies to anybody who enjoyed that. Yeah, I just yeah, I'm trying to be a little more. Uh, I can't be normal. That's not a possibility, and I don't know what normal is. But I'm trying to be a little, have a better sensibility of my audience. Like what interests them, what doesn't interest them, how long their attention spans are. I come across this video that was 2 hours and 13 minutes that I made. That was all the centerpiece to it was a van with a kitchen chair just set where the passenger seat would be. It's not connected to anything, and how we got away with that back in the day. And me learned trying somebody like everybody's convinced that you can do what they can do, so somebody's trying to teach me how to drive, and I jumped the van off of a parking lot, and somebody's sitting in that kitchen chair that's you know not connected to anything. Now I don't know. I just assume since I don't get a lot of viewers that there's not um, either there's too much of me out there, and I've saturated the Steve market, or I'm just too odd, maybe too I don't know. I don't think about it. I honestly don't think about it. It's like, well, you're thinking about it now. And it's like, well, I'm kind of making a point. I'm thinking about it now, but in the ordinary course of things, I don't think about it. I don't care. I'm 52. I got a bad heart. I'm out walking in 19-degree weather, not knowing if I'm gonna fall down and bust my fucking head on the cement. So I don't, I'm at the don't give a fuck stage of life. I'm at the answering the door with the robe, um, barely concealing the hanging goodies, the wedding tackle. I'm at the Rodney Dangerfield uh, end of end of the line thing, because there's stories that are famous for him just like attending like meetings in a bathrobe and not even having any respect for it, just not caring. I'm kind of like that now because um, not only the benzo crisis has kind of made me shameless, it's like the looming specter of death that hangs over me like a cloud. It's like it puts it all into perspective to me. or for me. Like, I'm getting way too introspective. That takes time. This is 17 minutes, and I gotta follow my rules. So, anyways, that might have went somewhere interesting, or it might have went nowhere. You never know. But I'll check in tomorrow. Goodbye.